almost left the mic down. You know, I'll be having that problem. I feel the rest of the day I am. That's why I'm late. Oh God, I had to drive back home, so forgive me for my delay. I was supposed to be not even in town. We was actually supposed to do this on the road, but some wild stuff happening with scheduling, so I'm back at home. So good thing it wasn't too far, so I ain't had to deal with airports and all that crazy stuff. You can't hear me. Oh no. You sure you can't hear me, Shawty? Find out. Oh, what the hell? You sure you can't hear me? I know you be setting me up. I need somebody else to say something. Okay, see, thank you. You be trying to play me out, man. And I'm gonna be running around. See, I'm glad they see you on the YouTube embarrassing me and whatnot. Girl, I'm about to try to do all this work, try to figure out. Um, and then you be delayed too, girl. You wild with it. Hey, but I should forgive me. Um, yeah, one of my coworkers making sure I made it home safely. Because the day was crazy, for real. But it's all good. I got that big V up there. I know I always forget. Um, we'll talk about that cologne, but we're going with victory today. And before you give me trash, I didn't change the sign because, like I said, today was a busy day. Well, this is my new gadget. I know you wanted to see me open it, but so, oh my God. So it's supposed to be a ring light. That's how I was going to use it tonight. And it all fits in this little box. Okay. And we're going to talk about some stuff tonight, too. You know, we always do, but I'm on some bullshit right now. Okay. So the lights come out. This is really wild. Turn it up. It's supposed to be cordless. I don't know if it works, so I hope it don't embarrass me. And it goes up to 6 feet. It got some legs and stuff in there. Put the camera here. Let's see. That's the motor. It goes up pretty tall. Mm. I know I'm distracted. Wow, that was bright. Okay. We did that. I know you definitely have had a Reiki session, so that it's gonna jump. All right. So now let's get to the business since I'm finished playing. I'll worry about this like some other time when I'm not live, which would make sense. All right, enough of my shenanigans. Enough of my shenanigans. All right, so man, a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. I definitely want to. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna show you a tool that actually gave me some perspective on who I am. Um, I'm gonna talk about a little bit about Valentine's. Oh, what? That sucks. Seriously, it cut off on YouTube. Well, oh well. YouTube's has to worry about it later. Funny thing is, I don't even think I'm supposed to be streaming on YouTube. So at some point, it was gonna wild out. but I think I'll be breaking the YouTube rules and streaming anyway because I'm supposed to have a certain amount of followers, but you know, we break rules. So since Valentine's Day is tomorrow, I'm gonna have to mention that, but I ain't gonna talk about it much. I want to talk about a couple of tools that, well, not a couple, it's one tool specifically that I feel like it'll help you recognize some of your gifts because you can't do it all yourself, and it ain't always talking. And they actually have materials out here. People have done research and done a lot of work. So save yourself some headache time and effort, and do some of the stuff that's already out there. And I got one that I love. And then I want to talk about communication. It's this weird thing going on that's been stuck. So tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and it's an interesting day for me. It's a little triggering. So this is like, since we all on this thing together, it's a little emotionally triggering for me because Valentine's Day last year started the chain reaction, a sequence of events that ultimately changed my life. And I guess overall, I was going to say some for the good. I'm coming to terms with the good because this is a product of Valentine's Day, and then some I'm still working on how I feel about it emotionally and all this other stuff. Well, still going through the process of grieving and all of that because you know, when I was going through my transition, it was a little. I ain't really had time to be thinking about no grieving. So it's real interesting because with Valentine's Day coming up tomorrow, it's really, you know what? I guess enough times we don't talk about how sometimes we have to grieve the living. You know what I mean? A lot of times we always think about grief and grief as well as loss, but not everybody passes. You don't always lose it, but sometimes things ain't gonna be the same. And so, like I said, Valentine's Day for me is a little triggering because it started the chain reaction of events where got a girlfriend, she moved in, kids, they left, job, all that stuff, all the stuff that led to me taking the Reiki and me doing this live and me changing my career and all of those good things. So, and I'm saying it to you all too because I think it's a little ironic how experiences, whether they're good or bad, can be triggered by the simplest things like a date. You know what I mean? Or sometimes it's smell. They say smell is the strongest sense tied to memory. So if you smell something one time, you'll probably remember it forever. And for me, like I said, Valentine's Day coming up, triggers some aspects of grief and frustration, and it lets me know I still got a little anger going on. Um, I still has process where I feel a little cheated about the experience, and you know what I mean. I'm a little mad at myself for not being a little smarter where I should have, and not when I say not being a little smart, it's not trusting my intuition. It's like when you give people the benefit of the doubt. You meet someone and something happens, like, and you're like, maybe it ain't that bad. Maybe you tripping. Maybe you're being hyper vigilant. So you give them the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes that creates that level of guilt for yourself or anger with yourself because you kind of knew better. You know what I mean? But we're going to move on from that to right now. So the next thing I think, I'm gonna wrap it up with tools to help you find some of your gifts. But the next thing I want to talk about is communication and the application of it. So, man, this week I've been seeing a lot of things about men and money and value, and like I saw something today that said if you make $50,000, you shouldn't even date. That's 80% of society that makes $50,000 or less. So, you know what I mean? It's just a lot going on. But one thing that really stood out into my mind is this idea of men and and how we communicate on a specific topic that I'm going to bring up. So, one thing I want to talk about when men communicate a lot of times, I'm not about to get controversial. That's not my thing. When men communicate, the best way I can describe how men communicate is quantitative. Quantitative. We are what you wound about? You got kicked off YouTube, Michelle. So really, YouTube really did drop. That's crazy. Well, at least those comments up there from YouTube. Don't get me distracted when I start talking to y'all in the chat. I'm sorry, everybody can't see all the chat. I'm still working on that thing because only one that shows up is YouTube. But the best way that I can describe, like I was saying, this man how they communicate is quantitative. And for the most part, quantitative is it did cut off. Well, that's crazy. Okay, so like I said, YouTube say I'm supposed to have. I don't even know. Maybe I need to start pumping up. Follow me, like, subscribe. I don't. You feel me? You feel me? You don't. You don't. You know what I mean? So, but YouTube say I'm supposed to have. We really been. Oh my God. Wait a minute. I'm gonna say this. We really been on some BS. So YouTube say I'm supposed to have, I think I don't know, like 100 followers or something. What's up, Keith? Hey, YouTube say I'm supposed to have like 100 followers or something, and I don't have 100 followers to go live. And we go live every week, 2 times a week without 100 followers. So I know, sooner or later they gonna catch up to you, boy. But we gonna ride this way till the wheels fall off. Cause I don't know, maybe how this streaming app interact. But I know if I tried to go to YouTube and be like go live, it'd be like, nah, sir, you don't got enough people that follow you, son. So yeah, what it made me think of is, oh my God, I guess I don't even want to talk about this dude, but I'm about to. So I seen OJ. One of the wildest interviews I've seen lately has been OJ on that on that Cam and Mace sports show. And anyway, so OJ been wild, but he said Cam was talking about he had some beef. Well, he thought he had some beef with an NBA player and how if he was gonna get in a dude like 6'10", he too big to be fighting or whatever, and he's going to grab a garbage can, whatever, around and all that stuff. And OJ leaned for what I was talking about. Sometimes you got to zip up your N-word suit. So yeah, we running on that right now. So sooner or later they're gonna catch us, but until they do, look it up, man. Listen, that whole interview, he got another one where Shaq said, "Don't confess to your woman" or something like that, and OJ was like, "I don't know what he's talking about. I don't even know." Just watch that interview. It's wild. So I don't even know. I guess it's a sports show, but I don't know how Cameron and Mace and OJ got together, but they are together. Surprisingly. But anyway, what I'm saying is men communicate more on a quantitative level. And that can be at a high level with a certain level of emotional intelligence where we can say that behavior makes me mad or that behavior makes me sad. And sometimes it's on a lower level where it's just I'm mad. You know what I mean? But it's straight to, oh, you did watch? Please tell me you watched that OJ interview. I'm low key ashamed that I did. Now I don't even like that I keep saying his name, but it is surprisingly hilarious. If you like dry humor, OJ I didn't even know that dude was that funny. But he had them breaking character regularly. Don't man, you get me distracted. I'm trying to I'm trying to be legit today, not get sidetracked with OJ and Cameron and them. And when I say and okay, so that's how I feel men communicate. And the only difference I really see with women's communication for the most part is they do it a little more qualitatively. So, hey, I appreciate you. Got us a new follower. I hope you enjoy. If this your first time on, try to catch some of the other shows. Most of them on Facebook. If you on Twitch, Twitch like to delete stuff, but check a couple of other shows. Or if you're feeling froggy, join us on Facebook. Then you can join the live as well. Um, but ultimately, I think women communicate a little more qualitatively. And I think they have some of the same parameters as men. It can be on a high level or it can be on a lower level as well. I'm not going to say low level, but a lower level as well. But what is bringing this concept to me is this idea of how men communicate. So, a lot of people know that men don't always have the best communication skills. And one of the difficulties that I think that we have, you tagging your friend again. She ain't gonna join, girl. Every time you tag her, she be like, "Oh yeah." You tell her she come on this live, I'll give her a read. Try to, what I mean. You gotta sweeten the deal. You gotta razzle dazzle. You know what I mean? I appreciate you tagging her, but every time you tag her, she don't show up. Excuse me, man. You gotta be tripping, girl. But I think you know, when it comes to some of the things that men say, she did. Did she? I'll take your word for it. But tell her to come on so I can I'll read her energy. I'll be gentle too. Hey, Patty. Hey, it's time for our update too. I ain't even hit you the other day, so forgive me. Um, but I'll check with you. I don't know. Tomorrow probably. I got a little work to do, but I'll check with you tomorrow to see how you doing after our reading and all of that stuff. See, I got me sidetracked again. But so anyway, like I'm trying to sound smart and trying to make it sound logical and all this stuff, but for real, the one thing I really want to talk about is this idea of men and calling women gold diggers. So I saw something. Well, I see this concept all the time where men are talking about women being gold diggers and people devaluing this opinion because of the amount of money they make. And I really wish that we created a one. I think there's a point that some men are trying to get across, but they don't have the communication skills to be able to say that. And I think a lot of times people really do know this, but in a lot of interactions, especially on social media, you don't see the application of this knowledge. So when people say something and they try their best to explain, if you can say it perfectly, and even when you do say it perfectly, sometimes it's still gonna be misunderstood. But one of the reasons I really want to talk about this concept of men are gold diggers because I want men and this idea of gold diggers is because one, finances and money isn't based on if you're a millionaire, but two, there's a point, an underlying point that I think a lot of men are trying to get to. And because I guess sometimes I can communicate a little differently, um, I took it upon myself to try to communicate this idea. So a lot of times when men are talking about women are gold digger, what they're really trying to say is the idea of our value. is too tied to money. And that is the truth because soon as someone says that, how much their yearly income comes into play, right? Or when you see it with celebrities, some for some reason because they have more money, we think that their opinion is more valuable. And have you heard some of the stuff that they said? You wonder if they even researched it, if they what's going on. And I really want to say that because when we hear that idea, I do want us to take a pause and really think about the idea of money as it relates to one, dating, and as it relates to living, right? So you do need disposable income. And one thing that's for sure, you have to have some sort of money to be able to date, right? But having money does not necessarily make your opinion or your thoughts more valuable. Didn't they say Einstein died with no money? Broke. Supposedly, he just had checks that he was using as bookmarks. But we still talk about his theory of gravity every day. So the value of a person is not tied to how much they make and the value of people alone. So it's not just a man thing. You just hear men trying to point it out. The value of people is too tied to finance. And I can say this because I do okay and sometimes I don't. But I do know that I'm not immune to that as well. There are people who think I make a lot of money. There are people who think I won't make no money at all. And because of that, there are people who think my word is not valuable. I even seen on this video where this lady was talking bad about, what she was talking about her ex and why he couldn't lead her. And one of the things she said is because he didn't make more money. And I was like, that really does tie the value of his skills to money. And I've been a leader for longer than I'd like to say. And I've definitely supervised people who have made more money than me several times in my life. You see it even with coaches. Coaches don't make more money than their players, but those players still have to listen to them. So I really don't want to harp on that a little bit too long because I really want to talk about the next thing, and hopefully it works out the way it's. Excuse me, I thought I seen it on the floor. And hopefully it works out the way it's supposed to because I'll be trying these videos and all these other things. But I do want you to keep in mind um, when you hear this idea and that concept and apply one, men don't communicate as well as they can. As well as others that sometimes or people don't think they can. And try to add a perspective on thinking how we value people because they have money. So the next thing I want to talk about is we always talking about all these too, or we're doing a lot of stuff about healing and all this stuff. But one thing I have not done for you all yet, outside of Reiki and doing the energy healing, is giving you some of the tools that I have used to help me conceptualize who I am as a person and a man. So I know you take those personality inventories and all types of stuff, and I've taken them off. I taken them all, and I forgot what I was except for one. And I don't know if I'm NFJP or what. And then I took the disc, and I don't know. I've lost track of how many personality inventories I've taken. But I was in a leadership institute, and it was a 2 year leadership institute, really. And one of the things that they wanted us to do is take a personality inventory. And the one that we wound up taking is called the Clifton Strength Finders. And one of the reasons I kind of like the Clifton Strength Finders is because it is under this idea that if you work on your worst qualities, they won't improve that much as compared if you work on your best qualities. So it's a strength focused type of personality inventory, and they said stuff like that, like they did research and they did reading, and they got a group of kids who were struggling, and then a group of kids who can read very well. And with the weaker kids, they focused on their weak skills, and they improved a little bit. But then with the other kids, they focused on their good skills, and they improved exponentially, 3 times as much. So I found it interesting because it was a strength based thing, and I had never taken a personality inventory that would kind of tell me my strengths. A lot of them, they try to tell you your personality, and I'm like, that's how I feel today. I'm a Pisces, so my personality is my personality. So let's see. Let's see if we can catch it. All right, come on now. Oh, why wouldn't it? It would embarrass me now, right? Give me 1 second. Hold on. No, act like y'all ain't see that. There we go. That's what we need to see. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. If you can't, lo siguiente. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. So, like I said, it's a personality inventory, and it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't. Man, listen. Streamlabs like to embarrass me a little bit. If I don't work a little bit to do the Streamlabs thing, it wouldn't be Streamlabs. So yeah, um, at some point we might upgrade, but by then I'll probably be a Streamlabs expert. I need to just stick with it. So, like I was saying, the Clifton Strength Finders builds on 34 of your strengths. I mean, it's just like every other personality inventory. And so you answer a bunch of questions, and then they'll tell you which are your strengths. And once you take it, you'll get a list of stuff like this. I'll just read it to you. You are uniquely and powerful. Your distinct Clifton Strengths 34 profile sets you apart from everyone else. This is your talent DNA, shown in rank order based on your responses to the assessment. Use this report to make the most of your strongest Clifton strengths themes, navigate the rest, and maximize your infinite potential. So when they say your Clifton strength themes, for the most part, it's your top five, and then the other ones are a part of you too. But your top five are the main ones that you use regularly. And this is mine, but for the most part, these are the. Okay, I can give you definitions later on, but these are the. Excuse me for all that rolling. The 34 um shift domains that you can have for the most part: restorative, intellectual, connectedness, empathy, individualization, strategic, developer, ideation, command, achiever, belief, blah blah blah, so forth, and on and on and on and on and on. I'm not gonna read all these, so yeah, because I really just want to talk about my first five. So it gives you a little bit of directions and reflect on who you are. I guess a lot of these things got this this meditative type of thing going on with them as well too. The good thing I do, they remind you to watch out for blind spots because we can get confident in our strengths and not see the negative of our actions. Like what my mama, I told you what my mama said. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. But so we're gonna talk about restorative, and it was funny. With that being my first one, it's the primary. Excuse me. Well, I'm gonna call it. They're supposed to be strength domain. So, ooh, excuse me. But I'm going to call them my gifts. And it was funny because restorative, as I read it to you, if you know me, some of this is going to speak on you. So what they say my skills are dealing with problems, and I'm good at what is wrong and resolving it. And that's wild because in my career, I've always find myself in situations where it's basically I had to create systems, so whatever the problems were, I had to wind up figuring what they were, create new systems and policies and procedures, and build a new environment and figure out what all the problems were and what was wrong, right? And then I talked about how I majored in biology, which was problem solving too, and the wild thing about this also, it made me consider how I attract. You know what I mean? Because if my number one skill is restorative, I'm good at dealing with problems. You know what? I'm going to also attract problems. And that's where it ties into with them talking about watch out for that blind spot, because that's where I could find myself, because I'm good at it, trying to solve all the problems. And it's wild because as we talking about it, that was one of the things that I definitely had to work on, or I'm still working on for myself. Like I said, I had the unhealthy connection to the feminine energy, and mine was that hero complex. I was trying to save everybody, which is crazy. So, and then like we are learning together now. Even though I'm good at dealing with problems, I don't think that it's my duty to solve everyone's problems. And then also it was to a curse where I remember we talked about one of the best pieces of advice one of my exes ever gave me about, and gave me perspective on who I am. So when I really care about somebody or I really love them, man, I hate to see them make mistakes or fail or whatever. And because I'm good at solving problems, you know what I do? Choop, choop, choop. I jump into solving problems, and I will fight tooth and nail to try to keep that person from making that mistake. And that piece of advice that my ex said, you got to let me make my own mistakes, which was interesting. And it definitely put me on notice about myself and how I handle people and how I interact in relationships and all that wild stuff. So it says I'm like I said, I'm not gonna read all this. I just want to give you all some ideas. So if you're looking for something to help you identify some of your strengths or some of your gifts, you can see a tool that I have used that has been beneficial. I probably took it. Ooh, pandemic. I lost track. Okay, it might not have been that long ago. Maybe 2 years ago. So not too long ago. Okay, so I'm driven by my talents. Oh God, I consider safe ways to reveal personal information, which is crazy because this was a challenge for me. Whether it's others people's personal information, when we're doing live readings, or me even being this transparent and showing everybody, giving everybody a look at my personal information. I do have the ability to influence people. That's been one of my good skills as far as when it's been in leadership and things like that. Um, and I see myself as a fine trainer or instructor, and I do. which is one of the reasons I do this. And as this is going to grow, it will take on more and more dynamics of my other personality, which is instructing. So, which is good. So, I do think on my feet, and this is funny because we talked about how stress and we normalize certain behaviors, and because of this right this why I succeed. You love to problem solve and your ability to analyze a situation, identify potential shortcomings, and modify as needed makes you a powerful in times of difficulty and crisis. I think on my feet. I think I'm a fourth quarter baller, which, as we already discussed, is a gift and a curse. Then the next section, for the most part, they give you some ideas on do, 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 what you can do to build your strengths. Which is funny. So when they say watch out for blind spots, I do want to say that. Others might think that all you see are their flaws and shortcomings. I've definitely had to work on be on that idea of positive reinforcement because look, I just want stuff to get better. So that's my focus. I'm not even thinking of it as a flaw or a shortcoming at that point because I just think it's something simpler that can be adjusted. Flaws or shortcoming take a little more time. I feel like or you may not ever be good at that. You know what I mean? So um yeah, I just see flaws and shortcoming very differently, but I definitely can come off as critical. So this reinforces some ideas that I thought about myself. Oh, I should have shared it in the group. Then my number two was intellection, and you are characterized by your intellectual activity and your introspective and appreciate intellectual discussions. No, I don't. Listen, well, I guess I do appreciate intellectual discussions. I don't like them to seem like interviews. I guess these are intellectual discussions, or I don't like those discussions where people are trying to pick my brain. I like an exchange of ideas. Don't pick my brain. I don't like that. I am a fine educator. And if you know me, which is funny because it says because of my strengths, I occasionally choose to spend time thinking rather than engaging in strenuous activity. Which is funny because a lot of times people think when I'm by myself, I always say people think I'm just sitting here just raining women down every time I look around, but really I just be sitting around thinking all the time, which is true about me. I am driven by my intellect, which wound up being difficult because I remember we talked about it before too. When I started this path, one of the things that made me struggle with my creative is that I've been functioning in my intellect so much to the point that I even thought that I was no longer creative. I just thought I was a big brain. Um, I love to think, muse, and reflect. That is the truth. So I'm very introspective and all of that stuff. And that is one of the skills that I actually trying to. What one of the questions that we talked about last week? What's one of the skills that you try to make yourself feel normal? I do like to create a certain level of connectedness, and I see the connectedness in a bunch of things. So I have faith in the link amongst all things. And I do not believe in coincidences, but I ain't think that was because I thought that was because I was a scientist by nature. But I do everything happens for a reason. Whether you know it or not, um, I feel like it's up to you to take a little time to figure it out. But it told me connectedness, if you know me, that's something that you sure I brings the people together. As a matter of fact, I've tried to bring the people together on this. That's one of the purpose of this right here. Hey, listen. I see you say don't save him. I came back to him. But let me tell you something. I've learned, as a matter of fact, you know what I like to tell people because, we're in the Bible Belt. And Jesus died so you wouldn't have to. I tell people that in the readings all the time. But the thing about it is, I think it kind of stems around that, if we talk deeper about it, that idea of protecting the women. And as much as there's a feeling that as black men we don't do enough protecting, I do think that sometimes the idea of protection is limited in some ways. But that's one of that. That's what that. Yeah. So it was funny because I had this a consultant called me out on that one time. She was like, "Boy, you be trying to save everybody." She was like, "You meet somebody today, they tell you they ain't got no job. You be like, come work tomorrow." And I did. Girl, I swear I used to do that. No lie. Listen, it'd be so bad. I told you that's why my homeboy told me I couldn't even go to the strip club no more. I be in there saving souls everywhere I go. It'd be crazy. Oh my God. I'm like, you deserve better. You know what I mean? Like for real. That's why I try to stay away from telling people what to do. But I definitely will make you believe in yourself. You hear me? I definitely believe. He's funny. Oh my God. He swear I cannot ever go back. Because I'll be in there saving souls. Oh God. And laying hands. And that's about it. Oh God. So they say one of my good things is I build bridges between people. And I think this right here is a perfect example of that because as the time goes on, not just myself, just the energy I bring and the energy you all bring, we are creating a safe place for people to be open, vulnerable, all those things. Like it was funny because I was talking to a friend and I told him I think it's getting to a point where if somebody came in there talking crazy, the group chat, I mean the chat itself would correct that issue. Now I definitely try to oh God. So I'm reading this. I need for my blind spots. I need to react more. You may react more calmly and passively to others' bad news, frustrations, or concerns than they would like. Oh, oh. That's definitely the truth. Listen, I don't know what to do. Like, it took me the longest time that yeah, it took me the longest time that for me to figure out what to do when my girlfriend cry. I mean, before, man, I no lie. Like when I got to college, like through college, my girlfriend mess around and cry. I just be sitting there looking at her like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Or sometimes people come tell me some bad news, and I just be like, really? I don't even want to hear that. So I guess my energy comes off like that, or either I don't know how to respond. Like, how do you? Sometimes people tell you the most amazing things, and like, what are you supposed to say to that? So, oh, I got a perfect example. I remember it was this girl in college, and we played wrestling or whatever, and it's funny because Hope, you know who it is. We talk about it all the time. Well, not all the time, but yeah, y'all know who she is. It's the one girl that I was messing with that y'all do. But we was out here play fighting or whatever, and I wound up typing her collarbone, and she was like, "Ow!" And me being all playful, this is where I also learned be careful about asking people what happened. I was like, you want me? I'm like, "Dang girl, what happened to you?" She was like, "Well," and then she told me this story about stepfather being abusive and breaking a collarbone a couple of times. And after she said that to me, I just kind of sat there like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know. I need something that's to motivate me. I just don't, I don't know. For me to be as emotional as I am and as sensitive as I am, where I can pick up on other people's feelings and stuff like that, I don't always know how to respond to them. You know what I mean? And that's the wild thing because that is one of the skills that people would project on me to be very good at. But I'm not. I suck. Uh, so which is wild because I'm so empathetic too. I can feel the stuff. I told you I can feel it. I just don't know what to do. So I just kind of look at you. That's why I learned hugs pretty good. So I got pretty good at hugs. So I can like, do you want a hug? That's the best I got for you. Or I'll bake you a cake. You go look at my video. I made that red velvet cake. It was delicious too. I hadn't made a red velvet cake for real, keep it 100 with y'all, in probably about 5, 6 years. I've been dragging my feet. I've still been a little offended how I lost the bake off. Those people told me that was the best cake they ever had, but because I didn't use cream cheese frosting, I lost. And I was like, that's crazy. But empathy, I ain't gonna spend too much time on that because most of y'all know what that is. Um, so yeah, but they say that's one of my gifts, and which is wild. I may not know what to do, but I can feel your pain, which is crazy for me. Which is crazy. It's very Pisces. It's the duality of life. One foot in the dark. Oh my God, I'm so gassy. Oh God, I still gotta take this rental car back. Ooh, got some work to do tonight, y'all. And then my last of the top five was individualization. So I'm very good at recognizing the unique qualities of each person. And we have these discussions to help us to recognize the unique qualities in us, which circles around to how we talked about a lot of our greatness we've normalized to feel like what we think everyone else feels like, but what makes us an individual is what makes us great. And it says I have a great gift for figuring out how different people can work together. I can, but I don't like it. It takes too much work. It's too much emotional. Ooh, that's why. Oh my God, you can see my staffs. They a ragtag bunch. We are various different, a various group of people. Well, I done supervised ex crackheads, alcoholics, and oh my God, any type of person you think you can supervise, I've met, I've supervised them, and I got them to work with everybody else, and everybody respect them. I've had people that, oh my God, yeah, those people, some of the most difficult people to supervise are the ones that come. I didn't come to work to make no friends. Like you ain't never heard of work friends. Like how long you been working? You ain't come to work to make no friends. Well, you came to get fired, didn't you? Because that's what's gonna happen. Crazy. Um, no, I don't. Well, it says chances are good. I usually know the right time to assist someone. Yeah, no, I don't. I just be jumping in there. I had to learn and work on that. But anyway, so yeah, doop, doop, doop. Individualization. We all unique. Then it goes on like strategic, blah blah blah. It goes through what your top 10, and then it starts telling you about yeah strength domains. There's a whole bunch of information. So as you can see, I'm very much of achiever and executing and influencing people. I'm very much in command. I do like that. I believe in connectedness and I develop relationships very well. I do that. Um, yeah, strategic. Those are the things that have helped me be successful. Then it's like every other personality inventory, and it gives you all that blah 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 blah, blah feedback. So, but I do think it was it's a good tool because it definitely realistically one of the reasons why I want to talk about this is because those first five things are gifts that I've tried to normalize like my all of them, like my ability to be able to see the problems. Like when I see the problems and stuff like that, a lot of times I used to second guess myself all the time to be like, well, maybe I'm wrong. And intellection is crazy because it's a lot of times, which is wild, because they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to get in another room. And I do that, and a lot of times I'm the smartest person in that room too. So I am a super nerd. See how big my head is? That you get some side view, but it ain't as big as the biggest football helmet I ever seen. Dude had to get the specially made helmet, and I do bring people together, which is funny because I be weird about people sometimes. Like I don't want everybody around me. I'm funny about crowds, but I do have attractive energy because I'm gonna laugh and joke, blah blah blah, so forth, so forth. So again, I suggest stuff like this. So as you on the healing path, go ahead out here and get some of these tools to help you figure out some of your gifts. Oh, we don't got a guest tonight. Let somebody feel lucky. Let me see. Doo-doo-doo. Nope. All right. Okay, I was a little bit late today, but we still got an hour in at least, and I didn't even know. So I appreciate your patience. Listen, tell you I hate it. Say how I not use cream cheese. I hated cream cheese. And the only way that I can now my icing is a food. But the only way that I can really enjoy cream cheese is half and half. I gotta use like a stick of butter and a pack of cream cheese. So um yeah, I gotta use half and half. But when it came to the cake, those he was like, this is the best cake they've ever had. So and it is a cake. I make a very good German chocolate cake too. Now my German chocolate cake is a food. And I've been thinking about posting my video. I made some those purple sweet potato pies because I have been looking for purple sweet potatoes for a while, and I baked some purple sweet potato pies. And I don't know, I someone keeps pressuring me to start sharing more of my life, but I was like, I don't do nothing that no. See, there we go. I say I feel like I don't do anything that no one else does, but maybe I do, and maybe that's one of the areas where I have tried to normalize. Yeah. Woo. So if anyone feels lucky, remember the questions from last week? Where you at, Liberty Hope? I know you want to get on here. You probably done left now too. The questions from last week. What gifts or behaviors have you tried to normalize? And where have you limited your emotional spectrum and attaching your tears to only specific emotions? Yeah. All right, well, cool. I appreciate y'all. It's been a great day. I'm sorry for being late. I'm gonna play with my little gadget for a little bit since it's over here. And I'm sorry about YouTube too. So hopefully it won't act crazy on Thursday when we do book club. That book's long, so I don't think we nowhere near almost finished with it. So we'll do that. I thank you for joining me. I know this episode was a little bit all over the place, but like I said, it's been a crazy day, and I literally had just got off the road and trying to make sure I remain consistent and be there for my people. I made sure I got on here, which is why we still got the same board. But I did. What is my black tie? This black tie is probably one of my favorite ties. Y'all don't got no jokes? Okay. So I got a joke for you. Let me see which one I want to do before I go. No, as a matter of fact, I ain't got a joke. I got a moral of the story for you. Did I ever tell y'all about the bird flying south for winter? No, I got a joke. It's a You want a joke? Moral of the story. Come on now. Y'all being too quiet. Y'all must be listening to me and not watching. Because y'all normally got a ton to say. Or maybe because I would do it. Thanks. Okay. Joke. I should have known you was going to say joke. A Pisces. See, I'm so busy with this gadget over here. I'm going to put that down. All right. Okay, so I'm going to tell them both. I'm going to do the bird first. It's one bird. We going 50-50. And then we're going to wrap it up. So, it was, and this is the moral of the story. So, it was a bird. And you know how certain species of bird fly south for winter. But it was just one specific bird. And when it was time to fly south for winter, he procrastinated. You know what I mean? So he decided to fly one day, and as he's flying, it started snowing. And after a while, because he waited so late in the season, started flying south. So as he's flying, it's snowing. And after a while, the snow started getting a little too heavy for his wings, and he crashed down into a field. And it kept snowing, so he was getting covered up by the snow. And of course, he's a little bird. He's starting to freeze. And after a while, a cow comes by and takes a dump right where the bird is. And the heat from the shit um starts melting the snow, and the bird is chirping and feeling excited like he's about to be able to fly away again. And then a cat heard him chirping, and the cat comes by and snatches him up out the poop. So the moral of that story is everybody that poop on you ain't your enemy, and everybody that gets you out that poop ain't your friend. All right, so the joke I'm gonna tell you, because this is probably the cleanest joke I got. So hopefully you know Camptown Racist. And that's that Camptown Race. Most people don't even know it has words, which is crazy. But I used to watch Looney Tunes, so they used to play Camptown Races all the time on Looney Tunes. So Camptown Races, sing this song. Camptown Races, 5 miles long, all the day. Yeah. So this is an inappropriate joke too. But there was this boy named Steven. And Steven had a real bad stuttering problem. And the only way you can understand Steven is if he sang. And Steven had a best friend named Doodah. Now, Doodah didn't have any arms or any legs. So that's the context of the story. So one day, Steven wants to go swimming. And he goes, of course, he wants his best friend to go with him. So he goes to Doodah's mom, and he's like, "Can Doodah come swimming?" And Doodah's mom is like, "Well, no. Doodah doesn't have any arms or any legs." And Steven, he's applying that pressure. But watch him. And she was like, I don't know. I really don't feel safe with him going to the pool because he doesn't have any arms or any legs. But Steven kept begging, and Doodah's mom finally gave in. So now fast forward, and they're at the pool. So Doodah's laying on the side of the pool, and Steven is doing all types of flips and cannonballs and all types of wild stuff into the pool. And Doodah gets so excited, he rolls over into the pool. And now Steven's panicking. So he's running around the pool. He's like, and And the people at the pool like, what are you trying to say, son? He's like, we don't know what you're saying. Go home, go home. So Steven runs all the way back to Duda's house as fast as he can. And he's banging on the door. Duda mom come to the door. And she like, what's wrong, son? He like, she was like, slow down. He like, she was like, sing it, sing it. Guess who drowned in the pool today? Duda, Duda. Hey, that's a free dad joke for you. You can take that on the road. Okay. Okay. You can borrow that. That's for you. That's for all the people. Yeah, I got other dad jokes too, but I ain't gonna kill y'all. Okay, my last dad joke. This is my favorite one. I used to always tell the kids. How does a Tyrannosaurus? I mean, it is. How does a dinosaur pay his bills? With Tyrannosaurus checks. Hold on, my drum. Hold on, I forgot I got a little drum line over here too. Where's that? Because y'all get to hear that too. I don't know what noise to be making. All right. Let me stop acting the fool. I appreciate y'all because I got a little bit of work to do and I got to find some food and all this other stuff. I'll see you Thursday. Thanks for the laughs. We'll pick up where we left off. What are we reading again? The sentence? All right. So, again, you keep that joke. Yo, that first, I wish you could see the emojis on my side because Streamlabs don't show them exactly like they look. So I'm looking at that first smart laughing face you put. Hope that thing look. I won't even say it. Special. All right. So people, Thursday, book club. We see you Thursday. See you next Tuesday. Yeah. Thanks for watching.